Alright guys, how's it going? Today, we're going to be shaking things up on the Rob Talks Hockey channel. Recently, it's more like the Rob Talks Canucks, but I want to start branching out and covering more teams surrounding the whole NHL. So we're going to start doing some more, news updates videos. It's kind of surrounding more of the major topics in the NHL. So who else better to start with other than Patrik Laine? The Winnipeg Jets, as of recently, have been caught in a pretty interesting retool. Not a rebuild, but a retool. Of course, the Winnipeg Jets, as of recently, in recent years, have been a very successful team. And all of a sudden, their blue line's demolished, and Patrik Laine wants out. Reportedly. They, of course, recently just traded Jacob Trouba for their own first-round pick and Neil Pionk. However, considering how much money the New York Rangers paid Trouba, I can definitely understand why they'd want to get rid of that contract. Considering, I guess they were anticipating the Laine and Kyle Connor contracts. They, of course, did not re-sign guys like Tyler Myers, Jacob Trouba, which they traded, and also Ben Chabot. And now, just of recently, there's been a lot of rumors surrounding the fact that Dustin Byfuglien may not return to the Winnipeg Jets, which just means that, of course, now it's Trouba, Byfuglien, Tyler Myers, Chabot. Their blue line went from being a very solid blue line to being gone. Now, of course, they did just lock down Josh Morrissey, which is great, but that Josh Morrissey alone is just not enough. And the fact that we're only weeks away from the start of the season and both Kyle Connor and Laine are still not signed is really just the cherry on top. Personally, I believe the Kyle Connor deal will be finished. Hopefully, I'm not saying tomorrow, not next week, but hopefully sometime in the near future. He may end up missing a couple games, but I do think it will be completed, especially because the Brock Boeser contract was done, and Brock Boeser is definitely a strong comparable to Kyle Connor. So when the agent goes to negotiate Kyle Connor's contract, the Brock Boeser deal, I can guarantee you, will be mentioned. But as for Patrik Laine, I really don't see the same outcome. Laine is now entering his 4th season in the NHL, and he has definitely proven himself to be an elite scoring winger. A streaky scorer, but he's definitely an elite scoring winger. Recently, there's been a lot of rumors, and keep in mind guys, rumors, that Laine does not want to be a part of the Jets. Especially after his interviews, who knows after translation, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. His interviews were definitely, regardless of whether it's translated wrong or whatever his intent was, his comments were a bit weird. It has been reported or speculated, I guess, that Laine is looking for around 8+ for the short term, and I could only imagine 9-10 million for the long term. And considering that Laine has kind of had a reputation of being a completely one-dimensional player, obviously a fantastic goal scorer, but other area of his games is just a bit spotty. This is definitely a very steep price to pay for Laine. I personally do really like Laine. He's a fantastic power play specialist. But it's hard to justify paying a streaky power play specialist that much money if there's a guy like Kyle Connor who's an excellent two-way player who you might just get way more value out of even if he doesn't score 40-50 goals like Laine. And with that being said, as of right now, there isn't really a team that could realistically absorb all of Laine's potential contract without including other players as a part of a deal, as a part of a trade. Maybe the Columbus Blue Jackets, but that is definitely a stretch. Which does mean if Patrik Laine is actually traded or on the trade block, we could be seeing a potential blockbuster deal. And considering the Winnipeg Jets blue line has recently just been abolished, with some guys like Shane Gostisbehere in the trade market, former 2nd overall pick from the Phillies, Nolan Patrick being shopped around, Philadelphia could be a potential good trade partner for the Winnipeg Jets. But with that being said, if a Laine deal, whether it's a contract or a trade, were to happen, I don't see it happening anytime soon. Obviously, we haven't started into the season yet, so obviously the Winnipeg Jets management, they still do have a lot of time to think about it, make sure they're going to be doing the right thing for the franchise. But overall, if Laine truly doesn't want to play in Winnipeg, Laine still does have a lot of trade value. So this could be a good opportunity for the Winnipeg Jets to start replenishing, to start going to that retool. Replenish their defensive side, replenish their prospect pipeline, add some more supplementary scoring for the team. So even though this does seem kind of dark for the Winnipeg Jets, this could be a huge opportunity to kind of reshape, I guess, change the whole dynamics of their team. What do you guys think though? What possible trade speculations could happen with Laine? Let me know down below. On to the next topic, and this one is a very, very, I guess, fantastic one if you're an Ottawa Senators fan. Thomas Chabot has been extended for 8 years, $8 million per year. And considering that the Senators, the Ottawa Senators, Melnyk, have a horrible reputation for not wanting to commit to their young superstars, this is very exciting for Chabot, the Ottawa Senators franchise as a whole, and also all of you Senator fans. Chabot just came off a season where he put up 55 points in 70 games on a, to be honest guys, a horrendous Ottawa Senators team. And he's probably the brightest spot on the whole Senators roster. Personally, I think this is a fantastic signing for Chabot, who is potentially a Norris caliber player. Oh, to be honest, guys, in my opinion, you know, Chabot is only 22. He's going to eventually be a Norris caliber player if he's not already, and he's only 22. He's only going to get much better. He already has the composure of like a 29-year-old defenseman who's been in the league for 10 years. How do you guys feel about the Chabot contract? I think it's a win. You know, Chabot could end up being a point-per-game defenseman. He could be like the next Erik Karlsson. And especially with the Senators having another guy like Erik Brannstrom, who is branded as like the next Erik Karlsson, the Ottawa Senators have a pretty bright defensive blue line. The last thing on the news, we have more news, I guess, an update on the whole Boeser contract signing. Boeser is back in town, and the team has just been celebrating his arrival, of course. However, it has recently been reported, not even reported, but speculated by a lot of fans, that Boeser does not want to be a part of, I guess, Vancouver's team for the long term. And that he just wants to end up back in Minnesota after this 3-year contract is done. However, Boeser personally commented on it to kind of clear things up because, to me, it's always been BS. But he did say he does want to spend his whole career here. He loves it in Vancouver. And, you know, we don't have to worry about that stuff, guys. I feel like a lot of fans are starting to worry about the superstars, especially after like the whole Tavares thing. And so when Boeser isn't signing his contract, he's from Minnesota. Obviously he loves Minnesota. It just creates all this unnecessary drama and speculation that they just want to go back. Boeser will be a Canuck for a long time, and I guarantee you guys his next contract in Vancouver will be a lot longer than 3 years. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think down below. How do you guys feel about the Chabot contract? Will Laine get traded? And will Boeser sign a full extension after this RFA deal? Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys later.